Hello everyone, my name is LaPrecious and welcome to my channel. Let's talk with LaPrecious. Okay, so today we'll be talking to you all about Nicki Minaj's post a couple of days ago about it being 12 years since her first mixtape, Playtime Is Over, came out, and how she still feels unappreciated by the music industry. So let's dig into what she had to say. Since then, Nicki Minaj has deleted the post. She actually reposted the mixtape, but she wrote a new message underneath it because I believe she just didn't want to face the criticism that she was getting from that post. So I'm just going to read some excerpts from what she said. Okay, so she said that 12 years ago, I dropped my first mixtape, Playtime Is Over, wrote every single word on every single song. I was so proud of that, she wrote. Eventually, the Barbs were all wearing pink hair, Chinese bangs, and Barbie chains. Colorful wigs came all the way back in style. Everyone became Barbies and dolls. I always shouted out my influences in my interviews. Nowadays, it's become cool to pretend you weren't influenced by other artists. Shout out to the ones big enough to do it. Cash, Asian, Cuban, Sawiti, Meg, Malibu, Young M.A., Miss Banks, Lady LaSure, etc. No female rapper other than Trina did a song with me and congratulated me on my Billboard accomplishments. I didn't mind. I never felt they were obligated to do so. Then she went on to criticize about those that have dismissed her accomplishments by saying, y'all are really sick and I'm going to call y'all out one by one on Queen Radio. Most of y'all doing these write-ups have never fought for anything in life. You just sit on the sidelines and watch the doers do. My take on Nicki Minaj posting that post, I felt that it was really unnecessary and it was really uncalled for because I feel like within the past year since Cardi B has come out, it's really hurt Nicki Minaj and it's really made her feel defeated. Because I'm going to be honest, growing up since high school, I was a barb. I love Nicki Minaj. I had almost all of her albums. I knew a lot of songs on her mixtapes, a lot of songs on her albums. I had the Nicki Minaj t-shirts that you used to buy at Hollister at the mall. I watched almost every public appearance she made, every performance she made on the Today Show, on the Queen Latifah show, even when she did that Pepsi commercial concert that was streamed live on the internet. And I remember she brought out Lil Wayne, Tyga, Drake, and Foxy Brown to come and perform with her. So I grew up with Nicki Minaj. What this post is saying to me is I want y'all to kiss my butt because if it wasn't for me, y'all wouldn't be named Dream Doll, Cash Doll, Asian Doll, and so on and so forth. Or there wouldn't have been a way paid for y'all. There wouldn't have been doors open for y'all. Or there just wouldn't have been any type of way that y'all could have made it without me. And I really do feel like Nicki Minaj needs to fall back once again and eat a pie of humble pie because I feel like Nikki doesn't really understand how she's blocking her blessings and how she's hurting herself with these constant rants and outbursts and always being mad and bitter about somebody not paying her homage or somebody not respecting her. But Nicki Minaj has to understand that the majority of the style that she so-called created, that was pretty much an imitation of what Little Kim already did. Nicki Minaj is very in denial of that. She's very, oh, I didn't steal from Little Kim. Oh, I didn't. And she has said in previous interviews and on songs that Little Kim was, an inspiration to her and that she looked up to Little Kim. But I mean, Nicki Minaj, if you looked up to Little Kim and you acknowledged her and paid so much homage to her, you wouldn't have tried your best in almost every song you did to disrespect her. And then not only that, didn't even give this woman credit by putting Little Kim on music with you and putting her on with you and bringing her on stage with you and stuff like that. I mean, we've all seen a lot of female rappers be humble enough and secure enough within themselves to bring out other female rappers on stage. Missy Elliott did it with the Ladies Night video. You had so many female rappers on one track. Remy Ma brought out everybody. You've had Cardi B in numerous appearances and pictures Excuse me, y'all, for stuttering. I'm trying to eat my vitamin for today. But we've seen Cardi B pay homage and give respect and hug and hold conversations with past female rappers and even current female rappers. So it's like, Nicki, you say that you have paid so much homage and so much respect and whatnot to other female rappers, but you have a long rap sheet of you dissing female rappers in your music, making it so other female rappers can't be in the same circles that you're in, making it so other female rappers can't have a say or have a leverage or to even be in the same arena as you. And I remember coming up, you used to say, I'm the only female rapper doing this, I'm the only female rapper doing that. And I honestly believe with a lot of the stuff that's come out about you within the past year, I believe you made it that way for a very long time. And for whatever reason, somebody just mowed down that wall that you seem to build. And that's why we have all these female rappers coming out, like Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, Cash Doll, Asian Doll, Dream Doll, and a slew of others that have come out since then. So I feel like, Nicki, if you really want this dark cloud of people not appreciating you and respecting you and, maintaining your legacy, whatever, you gotta call on the one that you got it from. Because I mean, you really stole a lot of your earlier styles from Little Kim. There have been plenty of Instagram pages, there have been plenty of commentaries given, and I mean plenty of fan sites that have pictures of Little Kim from different time frames in the 90s and even in the early 2000s of makeup styles, hairstyles, and outfits that Nicki Minaj has worn to the T. Whether it be Nicki Minaj's public appearances, whether it be her music videos or anything, a lot of those styles and trends she got was from Little Kim. It was from Little Kim. And even when Nicki Minaj got started, her glam squad, these are people that had worked, because the man who used to do Nicki Minaj's wigs before he pulled out and tried to sue her for $70 million that year because she took his styles that he designed for her and created Halloween wigs for and didn't give him credit. He actually styled Little Kim. So a lot of those, hairstyles and outfits and stuff that she had on, she worked with people that had worked with Little Kim before, and I felt like they pretty much laid out Little Kim's catalog, and that Nicki just take her pick of the ones that she liked. And I honestly believe that if Nicki Minaj doesn't pay homage to Little Kim, and then sometimes I feel like even if she did, her legacy may soon be glossed over because you built your career off of the back of Little Kim. And I mean, yeah, you had your own flair to it with the West Indian influences here and there and with the different personas and whatnot. But the Black Barbie thing even came from Little Kim. Little Kim, even in that video for How Many Licks, she imitated a Barbie because she was laying on the table, in the manufacturing factory where they were switching off different bodies that she could wear with different outfits and hair and stuff like that. It's like you think you're the Black Barbie and all of that, but it's like Little Kim, she laid the foundation for the Black Barbie. And I just feel like Nicki Minaj just took that and ran with it, and she excelled on it. And it just really doesn't make sense how Nicki Minaj just feels like so many people owe her, or so many people should pay her homage. I'm like, and you didn't even pay the one homage that you pretty much got your career from. And then Nicki Minaj doesn't see how even the people that she's rolling with, or the people that she says is on her team, are not really doing her any well. I mean, you got this boyfriend who's supposedly now her husband, Kenneth Petty, who is a convicted rapist. And he was even what? He went to jail for manslaughter where he killed somebody. And it's even been brought up that he left his girlfriend for you. And then you call yourself a queen and a millionaire and that you're worth all of this value when you're with a man who's not even worth your value. And then not only with the husband or the boyfriend situation, you got people like Trina that are on your team and Foxy Brown. Foxy Brown is the least rapper that you should be rolling with. Foxy Brown, from what I know, is the only female rapper that has a Wikipedia page section where her feud list with female rappers is almost longer than her biography section. I mean, Foxy Brown has fallen out with Little Kim, Queen Pen, Queen Latifah, Remy Ma, Natina Reed from Black, Left Eye. I mean, she's fallen out with a whole lot of folks. Then she lost her hearing, and then almost every performance she's done since losing her hearing and retreating, trying to put out some type of musical career that she just can't seem to get back or get right with since she did lose her hearing. It's been bad, getting booed off the stage, looking sloppy because she's gained so much weight. Even when she had her daughter, there were rumors swirling that she had her baby by a man who was married. And then Trina is even struggling with her career because, excuse me, everybody knows her for being Trina rolling with Trick Daddy, and all the sounds and creatives she created when she was with Trick Daddy, being from Miami and being known as the Queen of the South and whatnot. Trina is still trying to get her leverage and leg up by staying relevant. We even saw that on Love and Hip Hop where she was quarreling with Trick Daddy because Trick Daddy still wanted to do that TNT Trina and Trick Daddy sound, but Trina knew that that sound is not going to sell to this new generation of hip hop listeners. So I'm like, Nicki, you claim to be the queen, but you steady sticking to a female rapper that everybody has given up on, Foxy Brown, that whenever somebody tries to give her some type of constructive criticism or even some type of explanation, she'll block them off of social media. I mean, even with Steph London, she chose to be influenced by Little Kim from her Notorious K.I.M. album, and that's why she has a similar look on her Secure album. Foxy Brown got mad at that and blocked her. And I'm like, Nicki, you claim to be a queen, but you're rolling with people that are struggling to maintain their type of queendom or crown that they have somehow, they had in their earlier years, but they're still trying to keep up and maintain in this world of new music, new beats, and new styles and new tastes. And I'm like, Nicki, if you don't think of something quick, you're going to be drowning right along with the rest of them. And I'm glad that with the Megatron song, that she did go down the West Indian route. She did something that was fun and it was upbeat. And, it was, on the positive side, didn't have too many disses and stuff in it like her previous music has. At least you put out that. And I feel like if you were to put out a more constructive album, something that's more creative, be the Nicki that we know you for. And I know I just said Nicki was trying to steal Little Kim's style, and she did. But I'm like, Nicki, come out with something clean, something original, and something that's going to be like, okay, I'm loving this and I'm feeling this. But also be humble enough to work with some of these female rappers. Stop thinking that, oh, she hot now. Oh, everybody like her album. Oh, everybody, and I guess if I put her on, everybody gonna forget about me and like her. I'm like, Nicki, you had your heyday. You had a record of being one of the only female rappers that had the most features on Hot Billboard. Everybody used to know her as a feature queen because once her mixtapes you know, not died down once her mixtape popularity, kind of died down. She did features with a lot of the heavy hitter rappers at that time. Then she came out with Pink Friday, then Roman Reloaded the Re-Up, and then the Pink Print. And, she was well on her way. And I felt like from the Pink Print, I liked how she was more natural and more of herself. And she had quit with the bubblegum, Nicki the Ninja, Nicki the Harajuku Barbie, and, all of those different personas and started sounding like a hardcore Queens rapper. I felt like she should have excelled on that. And that could have been the Queen album. Because I really felt that since Nicki, per se, has met her 10-year mark or exceeded her 10-year mark in the hip hop game, She pretty much just could have did Queen as a retirement album, put out some really hot music with some hot beats. She could have did a whole lot of stuff, and then she could have just bowed out gracefully. And then the thing that's worse is that on that post, instead of you trying to throw subliminal disses at Cardi B and all these other people that you say have tried to discredit you and whatnot, you've just been called on by Saudi Arabia to perform. And they say this place that Nicki Minaj is supposed to perform is one of the most ultra conservative places in Saudi Arabia. But there have been some activist groups telling Nicki Minaj to pull out because the people that have called on her have been oppressive to their people. And they feel like if Nicki is really for diversity and for the people per se, then she will pull out of it. But I'm like, Nicki Minaj, she's all about money herself, so she might not even pull out of there because as long as the check clears, that's all that matters to her. But I just feel like if you were called on Saudi Arabia to perform, post a picture about that. Post the voice message of somebody from Saudi Arabia calling you, or post the article, the newspaper articles. I live in Winston-Salem. Nicki Minaj getting called on by Saudi Arabia even made the Winston-Salem Journal. So I'm like, Nikki, if you're still making news and people are still talking about you and you're relevant and you got these new songs coming out, whatnot, be happy for that. You stated word about these people dissing you and people not liking you, like Cardi B getting awards for stuff for being the best songwriter of the year. We all know Cardi B is a gimmick and a caricature of black women, and she's a culture vulture. She don't write her own music. But Cardi B ain't even worried about you. She living with Offset and her baby Culture, and she's in Europe and London and Denmark performing and making her money. And you stayed sitting online complaining about how this girl doesn't like you. You're not writing your own music. Like, nigga, you starting to look like a simp now. It's like you claim to be such a boss and a top dog, and you're letting these people who you've claimed for so long are hating on you. Now you looking like the hater and the person that doesn't matter and that should get a life and stuff. And even in that post, you even had some fans coming at her about that. Like this one girl said, whose name is So Blessed Life, Nikki, I love you, but you have to shout out Little Kim. You have to. I'm sorry, but she probably felt like she got no recognition from you and you reincarnated her style, which she did. I'm sorry to say it. Still love you though. Then Nikki responds, is of course, I shouted her out all in my early interviews. That's your narrative, not the right one. I recreated her pose as a sign of paying homage. And then we have another girl who posted, her name is Pink YYY. I love Nikki, but she has got to stop these rants. She bites the bait every time, which is what they want. What's understood don't need to be explained. Everyone already knows what you did for the female rap game, but these posts are becoming exhausting. Of course, being petty Nikki, like she always is. E to D, blocked for being effing dumb and wanting black women to keep being afraid of speaking their truth. Taylor Swift can speak, but I can't. And I'm just so tired of Nicki Minaj pulling the race card too with this. I'm like, you got Megan Thee Stallion, who's a black girl from Houston, and she's getting notoriety for her mixtape, for her music, and for being natural and pretty and whatever. You don't see her pulling the race card when it comes to people dissing her. Because one time people was getting to her about Juicy J co-writing one of her songs and her not being an original writer. And you don't see her saying, well, yeah, because I'm a black woman, that's why y'all saying that Juicy J and I, we're not real writers or artists, or I'm not a real writer or artist. I'm like, Nikki, you're being petty and you pulling this little high school stuff. Oh, because I'm black, that's why y'all don't like me. Oh, this and that. I'm like, Nikki, you need to accept some of the criticism that's coming from your fans, because if you expect to be loved and adored by the masses, sometimes you have to hear a little bit of what they have to say about what you're doing that's not right for you to be better. And by you saying, oh, E to D, go to hell, I'm blocking you and stuff, you're not helping yourself and making yourself look even worse. And I really feel like, Nikki, if you were to see yourself for who you are and to take advantage of some of those things, you could really play along with that, because everybody likes to say that Cardi B has been able to be won over by black people due to her racially ambiguous appearance. I will say that that has worked for Cardi B. Cardi B is a light-skinned Dominican woman. We all know Dominican people as well as everybody else from the Caribbean that come from a very mixed background. Some of them look black, some of them look Spaniard, Indian, mix of all three that I just mentioned, or some other type of ethnicity. That's their culture, that's where they come from. Nicki Minaj has that same multi-ethnic background. Nicki Minaj is from Trinidad. Her mom is a black Trinidadian, her dad is Dougla. To those of you who don't know what Dougla is a person that's mixed with black Trinidadian and East Indian. And when I say East Indian, I'm not talking about the Indians like the native Indians like Cherokee and Choctaw. I'm talking about the Indians that came from India. And, by her having that mixed background, I'm like, Nikki, you could do some music in Bollywood. You could team up with A.R. Rahman and get him to write you a good well, not write, he's a producer, but to get him to produce you some really good Indian beat music, and you could rap and get on the song with some of those Indian singers like Shreya Ghoshal, or jump on the track with Yo-Yo Honey sing, or you could just do a lot with who you are already. And I remember even Desi Hits had interviewed Nicki Minaj on her Indian background. And they said, your name is, Nicki Minaj. Minaj is Indian. So are you Indian? She was like, yes, my dad is half Indian. In Trinidad, we do have a large Indian population. We all eat curry and roti and, the different cuisines that come from India. And I'm like, Nikki, you talking about this Latina woman that's breaking into black culture, but I'm like, you're a Trinidadian woman that's a part of the black culture, the Caribbean culture, and the Indian culture, and you could use all of that to your advantage. So it's like you're so busy still looking at everybody else is not acknowledging you, but seeing yourself for who you are that's right in front of you. So I just feel like to end this note on Nikki, I used to be a Barb. I used to be a fan, but I'm gonna admit when Nikki started doing that petty catty stuff, she just put a bad taste in my mouth, and I couldn't support her anymore. Yes, she is a good rapper. Yes, she was. Excuse me, very creative about what she did, but I feel like this pettiness and this cattiness and oh, it's not fair, blah blah blah, it's just getting really old. I'm like, Nikki, like Tyler Perry said at the BET Awards, instead of waiting on people to give us our time and to give us our shine, we need to create our own tables to eat at. We need to create our own award shows to be congratulated at. We need to be our own people and we need to put our own selves out there, because as long as we're not able to control how other people feel about us, we're always going to be sitting on the sidelines saying, well, I wish they would say this. I wish they would say that. I wish they would give me this and that. Instead of us looking at ourselves, realizing what we can give ourselves, and acknowledging the people, big or small, that are acknowledging us and going along with that and being grateful for it. So I hope you all like this video. Don't forget to like, leave a comment in the comment section, and have a good day.